The magic touch of Harry Margolis, the King of Swing, next here on BBC One Scotland. With a showbiz career spanning 6 decades now on BBC One Scotland, a right royal tribute to the King of Swing.
He's very attractive.
He's different from everybody else.
He looks as if he'd be perfectly at home in Vegas.
Really a right dreamboat, you know.
Very dapper, beautiful clothes.
He's a real eccentric, I love him. In some ways, the leader of the pack.
He's a showman, and he never forgets he's a showman. That's Harry.
Harry Margolis is one of the last big band leaders. As a true showman, he never reveals his age, but he's been Scotland's King of Swing for more than 6 decades.
I'm a musician and I'm an entertainer. I think the combination of both makes me feel that I've achieved something in my life. I always give him my best, my absolute best, because I want it to be the best. I work at it, and I work at it because I love my music.
Harry's definitely the last of the dying breed. Given his age, he's the only one who's been around in the heyday of the 40s, 50s and 60s when his style of music was really at its peak.
Over the years, I would say practically every musician in Glasgow, with exception of a few, they worked for Harry at one time or another. And a lot of them have been in consistent work with him.
He's worked for decades and decades in and around Glasgow and in London, and kept a big band together, which is a major achievement.
Every Saturday, Harry and his band draw a regular crowd to Archie's Bar in Glasgow.
We've been resident in Archie's, which was called La Tache before Archie's, for I've been there about 11 years. I enjoy that more so than I do playing at different functions. The atmosphere is electric. It's a crowded place, packed every Saturday afternoon. We find so many regulars going. Regular people every week just to hear us.
I've been going there for 11 years and I never miss it. I go there every Saturday. That's my regular haunt. I think I'm a bit of a groupie, the oldest swinger in town.
It reminds me of that programme Cheers, you know, you go in and everyone knows your name sort of thing, you know.
It makes you feel so welcome when you go in and it's like one big happy family.
It's a great excuse for dressing up.
I get a tremendous buzz because I know everybody's watching me, and I turn around a little just to look at the side to see some of the people, and they're all laughing away in the voice. Look at all this kind of business, and it makes me feel great. Thank you very much for your vociferous Shall we say for your applause? Thank you very much.
Harry was sent to Hutchison's Grammar, where he developed an interest in music, and at 15 he started playing the double bass in a small band. He got his first break when they were offered the chance to play on a cruise ship travelling to New York.
But when I first got off the boat, I was absolutely petrified. It was New York. I mean, this was the sort of musical capital of the world. I loved the American accent. The accent was one of hi kid, how you doing, man? All I knew was in Glasgow, hey, how you doing, you know? This was probably my break into music, you know, I was only about 15.
On his return to Glasgow, Harry joined the RAF Central Band, but he put his musical career on hold during the war when he served as a navigator on the Catalina flying boats. Back in Glasgow after the war, Harry started his own band and found himself in the right place at the right time.
The music scene at that time in Glasgow was tremendous. There was about 10 ballrooms in the centre of the city, and all of the ballrooms done fantastic business. Harry provided bands all over the place, parties, or you name it, Harry supplied it.
There were so many function rooms at that time. You couldn't go wrong. I mean, there was, and not only that, you had the Plaza, you had the Locarno, you had the Denison Palais, you had, there were so many places that you could get work in.
Glasgow was the dancing capital of the world.
Glasgow was fairly quiet during the day, but at night it all just came alive.
Oh, it was popular, all right. This. My goodness, I come to think of it, when we were playing Locarno, I used to queue up outside. Not particularly for me, for all of us that were there. And it was like hero worship at the time, you know.
All the women loved Harry. And he loved the ladies in a nice way. He was a charmer, you know. He made women feel good.
You were a king wherever you went there, just like the bands now.
Harry was not only successful in Glasgow, he was invited to play at top venues in London and New York, where he shared the stage with legends, including Count Basie and Fats Waller. Then came the opportunity of a lifetime, a 2-year contract in Bermuda.
Well, I could have fallen through the floor, I'll be quite frank about it. Bermuda, that's where all the top people live and all that business, you know. It was the Elbow Beach Surf Club. Another world, completely. Blazing sun, pink sands. It was like living up in heaven. It was wonderful. We lived the life of Riley because the parties we used to have there was nobody's business. Every day we're taken to jobs privately by the management to play different places, and we got to be very well known. That wonderful bands, the Calypso bands, that's where I learned all my Calypso music, you know.
I have sailed the seas for many years, but this is my home. My home, sweet home. Oh, I lie in the sun.
He brings the people in. He tries to involve the punters, as we call them, you know. Tries to involve them in all the things, which makes them feel a part of the whole thing, you know. So he's very good at that, very good at that.
Set your native friend, take the last again. That is very sad. Make me feel so fun. You can fly away in the skyway. You're more lucky.
These people that come in there, they could be 40, 50, 60, they know what dancing is. And suddenly they're getting music that they can dance to and listen to. It's not screaming pop music.
For Harry, being a showman has always been a full-time vocation.
In the morning it takes Harry a long time to get ready.
Oh, goodness. You wouldn't believe this. It takes me roughly about 4 to 4.5 hours. I feel that it's necessary for me to look the part as a musician, as an entrepreneur, as a band leader, and so forth. I like to wear clothes where people will look at me. When I go out in the street, a lot of people know me. And if I look dowdy and sort of, etc., I say, oh, look, is that how it goes?
His vast wardrobe contains 200 shirts, 150 suits, and over 30 hats. Always the extrovert, Harry's flair for publicity also led him to set up his own entertainment agency in the 50s. If you wanted to break into showbiz, you called Harry. And acts like Jimmy Logan, Andy Cameron, Johnny Beattie and Billy Connolly all passed through his books.
Paul, my engineer, is actually taking this for us. So let's hope everything goes well. This is merely an experiment and we...
His innovative ways of promoting the agency became legendary.
Thank you.
I was sitting at the bottom of Renfield Street in my car, and I looked across and there was a Volvo sitting and it had a White House telephone in the dashboard. And suddenly the guy who was driving it lifted it up and spoke into it.
He'd wind down his window and he'd hold out the phone to whoever drew up beside would go, "Excuse me, it's for you."
The red phone in my car.
The only other person that would have a phone in the car would be the president or somebody at that time, you know.
It didn't go anywhere, it wasn't connected, but it looked as though it was a direct line to the Kremlin.
And as he drove away, it was HM45, that was his registration, and I knew who it was then. And I mean, a White House telephone, how eccentric is that? On your dashboard. There wasn't even car phones in those days.
So I just thought I'd say hello to you, wish you goodbye and tell you I'll see you very shortly. Okay, darling? Goodbye.
Well, I've always thought of Harry as a kind of amiable hustler.
He was, to me, the archetypal agent, always wanted to be one ahead. Harry could convince you, if he was booking you for a backcourt concert, that you were going to the Palladium.
Harry was always on the lookout for new ways to advertise.
Well, my idea of advertising was the more people who see the adverts, the more people are going to give me work. At that time, the buses and the trams were really the main form of transport. So I suddenly thought the buses and trams go through every area in Glasgow. Wouldn't it be a good idea if I could get my name right across it? When I look at this, I say, did I do this? Did I do this myself? I certainly did.
People knew about Harry. And of course, eventually his name went into the litany of slang in Glasgow.
When they saw Harry coming, they used to say, "Harry Margolis, get the polis."
Send for the polis. Harry Margolis.
It's quite an unusual way to be remembered.
But not all his ventures were successful.
Oh, don't remind me. You talk about my pub festival. I was very adventurous. Sometimes very foolish. I must admit that. I didn't know much about organising festivals. I was going to be the first one in Scotland.
But things took a turn for the worse when headliners Led Zeppelin and Chuck Berry pulled out, leaving Harry £45,000 in debt. Harry and his wife had a difficult decision to make.
I said, look, pal, it's like this. We've got to find another £20,000 and do the concert or cancel it. And the only way we can get that money is for me to sell my house. It's this one. She says, no. No, you're not going to sell a house.
So Harry put it down to experience, paid off his debts and went back to the day job, fronting the band and running his agency.
Oh, man!
And it's still going strong. His secretary, Mary, has helped him run the business for the last 8 years.
It's only me, Harry. When I joined you, you said it was a job for life, and I said, whose life, yours or mine?
42 years ago.
We drive each other mad. We argue like mad. Harry hates to be wrong or proved wrong, and I would argue black's white until, if I think I'm right, until I'm proved wrong.
We have a stormy relationship. You see, The problem with Mary is that she's always right and I'm always right.
A lot of back chat. We insult each other right, left and centre.
Never afraid to move with the times, today he advertises on the internet, and his agency provides everything from bands and comedians to casinos and strippers.
If anyone wants any particular thing, we'll give it to them.
He really, if ever, has to say no.
Entertainment direct?
He would never turn a job down, and when he does take a job, his main interest is making sure that the job goes well. Professional to his fingertips, he really is.
Actually, we can do anything in the entertainment business that you might be interested in looking for.
His daughters told me that he thrives in stress. Well, perhaps that's why he looks so well, because yes, there's lots of stress. Harry is
whatever you wish.
Is a very determined man
All types of bands.
with a tremendous desire to succeed. I mean, the word impossible is not in Harry's dictionary.
Midnight, neath the starry sky. Nice work if you can get it, and if you get it, tell me how.
But the big band remains Harry's true passion, and they're always in demand, often playing up to 3 gigs a week at functions all over Scotland.
Some of them look as if they couldn't lift the instrument they're about to play, but I mean, no, I'm only having a go about that.
You see some of them coming on, and to some extent Harry himself. There's a transformation takes place, the sort of shuffle in the door.
They manage to lift their wee instruments and they manage, and then when they get going they forget that they're on 95.
The best analogy, I think, if you wanted a label to hang on Harry and his band, would be the West of Scotland's answer to the Buena Vista Social Club. Firstly, the ages of the musicians, including Harry, but secondly, like Buena Vista Social Club, the musicians and Harry are playing for the love of it.
I like playing the music we play because it makes demands on all the players. You know, it doesn't matter how many times you play it. You know, and also people enjoy it, and that the end product is people enjoying it. There's a lot of other bands, but they're not getting the work that Harry gets.
Well, I've known him for many, many years, going back to the time when he played at the Lyceum in the Strand with Amanda Ross. We've been on and off colleagues ever since.
Bobby's been on that for about 130 years with him, I think.
We've been doing it that long as we're smoking. We just can't get up.
And Harry remains a crowd pleaser at weddings, even today.
Played really well, we're really happy with them.
Very classy.
They're a must-have.
A bit of panache.
We had them at our own wedding last year.
John and I were married in December in '73. Harry Margolis and his band played at the wedding.
It looks exactly the same as he did that time, you know.
With Harry still showing no signs of slowing down, just what is his secret?
I can never understand how people can just lie in bed just for the sake of lying in bed. You're wasting part of your life. This is a very important part of my life. Come in here every morning at 3 o'clock in the morning, and I do all my exercises for between an hour and a half. And I always say to myself, I can and I will. And when I say I can and will, it makes me feel even 100% more energetic and wanting to do things. So when I finish my exercises, I go and I have breakfast. I feel that I must eat the correct food. It's so easy to see a big plate of sausages and all this kind of business. No, I don't believe in that. I take 5 different parts of, let's say, muesli. Let's talk about bran flakes and corn flakes, a banana. It's going through my body and it's doing me a lot of good.
He's got a marvellous zest for life. I mean, when people get to an age, or well, Harry's age usually, they've had enough. But Harry will never have enough.
The day Harry retires, that will be his swan song. Yeah. I think Harry he'll play until he collapses. That's the way Harry will go. I don't think he would like it any other way.
My name is Harry Margolis.
I'll never retire, so when my time comes, I'll still be the same, hopefully the same action man as I am now.
1, 2.
Harry always wants me to do my Spanish dance. And I tell him, don't ask me, no. And at the end of the day, I get up and do my Spanish dance and he loves it. Oh, he just loves it, you know. I think there's a frustrated dancer somewhere there. So Harry, get some lessons.
How old is Harry Margolis? That's a very good question.
Ages and wages we never discuss.
Harry's a wee bit older than me.
I think he's probably 77. What if he's 72? I'll get a cheeky letter, won't I?
Between 85 and 90.
77 I'll say. 87, I don't know. What did you say?
He's probably a kind of endangered species.
Is he 100? He's ancient, isn't he?
I was going to say 134, but that would be unkind.
What age is he? Do you know?